Welcome to Midday Stretch Express. Let me just make sure that this is streaming. Looks like we're good. Okay. Welcome to Midday Stretch Express. My name is Elizabeth. I'm the Health and Fitness Coordinator in Bedford. Today we're going to be doing a 30-minute full body stretching session. You'll need a yoga mat, and today we're also going to use a foam roller, which is this guy here. If you have a lot of foam rollers are shorter, so it might just be like that width, that's totally fine. So like any foam roller that you have at home will work. So we'll do a combination of stretching and then some myofascial tissue release, some self-massage with the foam roller. By the way, my name is Elizabeth and I'm the Health and Fitness Coordinator in Bedford. I'm not sure if I said that. Okay, let's get started. Find yourself on your mat, and we're going to start standing. So from a standing position, you're going to sweep your arms up overhead and grab hold of your left wrist and start to bend over to the right, just kind of gently pulling on that left wrist to bend a little bit deeper to the right. Come back up, drop the arms for a little bit to get the blood flow back into your hands. Then sweep your arms overhead again and grab hold of that right wrist and start to bend over to the left. Come back to center. Okay, you can drop your arms. Let's do some shoulder rolls. So first, rolling your shoulders forward. So bring shoulders up by your ears and then forward, in front of your chest, and then back. Now you can switch directions. So rolling your shoulders back in circular motions. And you can rest. Now you can take some neck stretches. So you're going to roll your head down, chin in towards your chest, bring your head up towards the sky, just circling with your head slowly. 3 times on one side or in one direction. And then switch sides. Circling your head in the opposite direction 3 times. And back to neutral. Okay, now we're going to stretch out your shoulders. So cross your left arm across your chest, capture that left arm in between your right elbow crease, and start to pull your left arm to the right and back of the room at the same time, stretching out your left shoulder. Holding here. Drop your arms and switch sides. So cross that right arm across your chest, capturing it in between your left elbow crease. Pulling that right arm to the left and back of the room. And release your arms. Now let's stretch out your triceps. So you can take your left arm and take it back to tap your right hand on your upper back. And then you're going to take your left hand on your upper back, I should say. Take your right hand and place it on top of your left elbow and start to push that left arm down your back as you cradle your head between your arms here. And release and switch sides. And release both arms down. Okay, now you're going to interlace your hands behind your back near your tailbone and start to pull your hands down towards the ground, opening up your chest, pulling those shoulder blades together. And you can have a bend in your knees here. Holding here. Now bend those knees a little bit more generously and start to tilt forward at the hips, folding forward. Keep those hands clasped behind your back. Belly meeting the tops of your thighs. And start to roll back up to standing. Okay. Let's give those wrists a little break. You can unclasp your hands. Roll your wrists in one direction and then the other direction. Maybe extend those fingertips out wide and then make this. Repeat. Okay. Now sweep those arms overhead and then bring your arms down into a goal post position and then keep bringing your elbows down closer together down your back, opening up your chest. Send those arms back up, back into goalposts, and back down, reaching towards each other. Repeating like this a few times. Two more times. And drop those arms. Okay, let's do a little mini back bend here. So sweep your arms up overhead, sink those shoulders down away from your ears. Nice neutral spine, find the length of your spine. And then breathe in, and as you exhale, start to bend backwards a bit. Doesn't have to be a big bend. Just allowing some strengthening through your spine here. The muscles around your spine. Back to standing. Good job. Okay. From here, you can stand at the top of your mat and plant your left foot and send your right foot back about maybe 3 feet into a standing calf stretch. So your right heel should be planted on the mat. You might have a bend in that front leg into sort of like a baby lunge here. And you should feel a stretch through your right calf. Holding here. If you'd like to continue with that chest opening stretch that we've been practicing, you can interlace your hands behind your back and again push them down towards the ground as you open up your chest. Bring your feet together up to the mat, and then instead of planting your right foot, grab hold of it behind your back with your right hand to get into a standing quad stretch. And if you'd like, you can find something to support your weight in your left hand here. So you could like hold your left hand against the wall or on the some furniture just to help you balance. If you'd like, you can also sweep your left arm up overhead. which is a little bit more of a challenge for your balance. You should feel a stretch through the front of your right thigh and your quads. Drop that foot, and now bring your feet out wide, toes pointing forward. Feet should be wider than your shoulders, shoulder distance apart. Sweep your arms up overhead, find some length to the spine. Get a little bend in those knees, and then start to fold forward in between your legs. If you have yoga blocks, you could put them on the ground under your hands here to bring yourself up a little bit if this is a little bit challenging for your hamstrings. But otherwise, you can just let yourself hang here, let your hands meet the ground. Roll yourself up back to standing and find yourself back at the front of your mat. Now we're going to get into a standing calf stretch on your left side. So plant your right foot, send your left foot back about 3 feet, and feel that stretch through your left calf. You might need to shuffle your foot a little further back if you don't feel that stretch yet. But your back heel should be planted down on the mat. So not so far back that you're not able to do that. Again, if you'd like, you can do a chest opening stretch here. All right, come back up to the top of your mat and plant that right foot still and grab hold of your left foot behind your back. As you stretch out the front of your left thigh, you can either help yourself with your balance by placing your right hand on something, whether it's the wall or a piece of furniture, or if you'd like to challenge your balance even more, you can sweep your right arm up overhead. Pulling those shoulder blades back towards one another, finding length in the spine here. All right, drop that foot. Come back out to a wide stance, like we were in before, toes pointing forward. And now instead of folding forward in between your legs, you can actually go into a side lunge here. So you're going to shift your weight into your right leg, bringing your hips over top your, basically bring all your weight over into your right leg here. And you should feel a stretch through your inner left thigh here. And if you want, you can even kind of prop yourself up on the top of your right thigh with your forearms here. Come back to the middle, reset in the middle for a moment, and switch sides, sinking your weight into that left leg. Try to avoid the knee, so your left knee tracking over your toes. Keep your left knee pushing back towards the back of the room. All right, back into the middle, and then step your feet together and find yourself back to the front of your mat. Okay, you're going to sweep your arms up overhead, And bend over to one side, come back to the middle, and then bend over to the other side. And back to the middle. Now have a little bend in those knees and fold forward over the front of your legs. Now you can plant your palms on the mat and step back into plank and then quickly go into downward facing dog. So your hips are reaching up towards the sky. Your heels are reaching towards the mat. They don't have to be flat on the mat. You're pushing through your hands, opening through the shoulders, trying to meet your chest. Well, trying to reach your chest closer towards the top of your thighs here. Chin is tucked in slightly. If you'd like, you can pedal your feet. All right, you can sweep forward into a plank now and step your right foot in between your hands into a runner's lunge. Now drop your left shin down onto the mat and sweep yourself up, sitting up right here in this lunge, holding here. Gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Now start to sink those hips back, straightening out your front leg, and start to fold over that front leg. You can keep a little bit of a bend in that front knee just to protect your knee. Stretching your right hamstrings here. All right, coming back forward, find yourself into tabletop, so hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and then curl your toes under on the mat and send your hips back into downward facing dog. Roll forward into plank and step your left foot in between your hands. Rise, drop that right knee onto the mat and curl your right toes and come up into a low lunge here. You should feel this stretch through your right hip flexor. And you can have your hands either at your waist here, or you can sweep your arms up overhead. Or if you want, you could interlace your hands behind your back and open up your chest again. All right, now you can start to straighten out that front leg, sink your hips back, and fold for the front of your left leg. And come back forward, find yourself back into tabletop here. Now bring your forearms down onto the mat and curl your toes and send your hips up into basically a downward top dog position, but keep your forearms on the mat instead of your hands planted on the mat. Likely you'll be kind of on your tiptoes here. Heels probably won't be too close to the mat, and that's fine. You can pedal it out here if you'd like. And then drop those knees down back on the mat. Come back into tabletop position. So hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Plant your left hand on the mat, sweep your right arm open, look up towards that right hand, and then send your right arm in between your left arm and your left leg. Place it down on the mat. Let your right ear rest down on the mat. Just resting here. Come back to tabletop and switch sides. So sweep that left arm up, open, look up towards the left hand, and then send it in between your right arm, right leg, laying your ear and your left arm on the mat. All right, back into tabletop, and now send your push down to the mat. Find yourself in a comfortable seated position. So for me, I'm going to cross my legs, but your hips are a little tight. You can just send your legs out long. From the seated position, you can plant your right hand on the floor, sweep your left arm up, and then start to bend over, bend to the right, sending that top left arm over to the right side of the room, holding here. And sitting back up and switching sides. So plant that left hand on the mat, raise your right arm up overhead, and start to bend over to the left. And back to neutral. Okay. Now we're going to get into a couple stretches on our backs here, and then we're going to do some foam rolling to finish out this session, stretch session. So roll back onto your mat. We're going to start with one of my favorites, a figure four stretch. So plant your feet on the mat, knees are tented up towards the sky. Keep your left foot on the mat and then pick up your right leg. Place the outer edge of your right ankle on top of your left thigh and start to externally rotate your right leg out away from your torso, opening up that right hip. If that feels like a deep enough stretch here, just hold there. If you'd like to deepen the stretch, you can pick up your left leg and grab hold with both hands behind your left thigh, gently pulling your thigh closer to your torso. You should feel a deep stretch through your right glute here. Start to unravel, bring both feet down to the mat, and switch sides. So plant the right foot, bring the outer edge of the left ankle on top of your right thigh, externally rotate that left thigh outwards. Either hold there or pick up your right foot and grab hold behind your right thigh. And start to unravel. Bring both feet down to the mat. Now you can bring the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees splay out to either side of your mat. We're like in a little butterfly pose here. Just hold here for a moment. Now bring your knees together, plant your feet back on the mat. Bring your arms out to a T and then let your legs fall over to the right side of your mat. As you look over to the left, you might feel your low back crack a little bit here. I just cracked my back inadvertently. Kind of feels nice. And then bring those legs back up to the middle and switch sides. Let your legs fall over to the left and send your gaze over to the right. All right, bring your legs back up to the middle. And now we're gonna rock ourselves back up to seated. And we're gonna do some foam rolling. So grab your foam roller and start on your mat, sitting up and placing your foam roller under your shins. So like basically you have your foam roller on the mat and your Achilles area is just laying on top of the foam roller. So we're gonna roll up our legs here. So you can use your hands behind your back here to kind of give you a little bit of leverage and push you forward and back. You're just gonna roll your calves up and down on this foam roller. You might feel a little bit of gentle pain here, sort of like if you're getting a massage. That's basically what we're doing right now. It's a massage, working out any tension. Start to roll further up your calves if you're concentrated down on your Achilles area. All right, now pause. Plant your feet back on the mat and bring your foam roller to rest underneath your thighs, the back side of your thighs. And now we're gonna roll hamstrings. So kind of prop yourself on your hands here behind your back and start to roll yourself forward and back, rolling out your hamstrings. All right, and now you can bring the foam roller underneath your butt and just roll over the foam roller. You can concentrate on one glute if you'd like, and then switch sides, or you could do both at the same time. If you concentrate on one, then you'll get a deeper massage, I guess you could say, in that glute. Okay, now sit on the mat and place the foam roller underneath your back, and you're going to lay back, you're gonna like pick up your hips and roll up and down. Just avoid rolling your neck. You wanna protect your neck here. So just, from lower up to like upper middle of your back. Rolling forward and back. All right. I'm going to move that foam roller. And let's take one big inhale and exhale together before we finish off our stretch session, just to reset for your day. So we're going to do a long inhale through the nose, and then when you think you can't get any more breath in, take a little extra suck of breath in through the nose, and then you're going to exhale slowly through your mouth. So starting right now, inhale through the nose, a little bit more, exhale slowly through the mouth. All right. Great job. Thanks for stretching with me today. Hope to see you tomorrow at 8:30, I think it is, 8:30 a.m. for our Hardcore Express class. It's 15 minutes of core, quick but effective core strengthening. But until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.